Hey, it's Dave. I'm back. I'm going to do my weekly predictions, point spread over under. Um, Start out with there was some good college football today. My Buckeyes, woohoo! Uh, didn't have a very good first half, but the second half was fantastic. They beat a very good Maryland team. I think it was 37-17. My son is at Missouri, and boy, they held their own. They just weren't strong enough for LSU. LSU pulled away in the end. And that Texas-Oklahoma game was a real barn burner with Oklahoma coming through at the end. It seemed like whoever had the ball with enough time left was going to win that game. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to take a look at how I did last week. And like I said, I am not a gambler. I don't I don't normally do this. With the point spread, because I didn't do the Thursday night game, I was 10-5. It's pretty good. I usually don't do that well. That was, 67%, 66.7. Amazing. The over-under, I did even better. I got 11 out of 15, 73.3. And then just straight out prediction, predicting this score, which is obviously easier to do. I still was 12-3, which is an 80% rate. So, damn, I'm on a roll. Again, don't, unless I get really hot here, I don't think I would bet on my bets, but I just like doing this. So, we started out this week, first of all, Dick Butkus passed away at the age of 80, and being that I'm in the Chicago area, I was lucky to see a lot of his games. He was a fierce competitor, fierce hitter. It was a different game. You could hit people harder than you can today. Today, you touch the flag and they may call roughing on you. So rest in peace, Dick. He was quite a character. He did some acting. They broke the mold with that guy. That guy was pretty amazing. So on Thursday night, I talked about the Bears and the Washington. I almost said the R word again. Washington was favored by 6. The over-under was 45.5, and I just had no faith in my Bears, but I was hoping they would win, and they kicked some ass. I mean, they won 40-20, although both coaches let it get real close before they pulled away a little bit, and so I had predicted that Washington would cover the over-under, which was 6. Wrong. I predicted that Washington would win the game. Wrong. The over-under was 45.5. I went over. Yay, it's a win for me. 1 out of 3. Sucks. But, whatever. It's tough to bet like that when your team is playing. So let's start out with the 8:30 game. And yes, you fantasy people, 8:30 game. Again, Jacksonville is still out there. This time the Bills are coming in. The Jaguars are 2-2. The Bills are 3-1. I think Jacksonville's underperforming, but Bills are a tough team. Their defense is only giving up 14 points a game, while scoring 35 points a game, that's pretty amazing. The Jacksonville is scoring and giving up 20 points a game. So the spread is 5.5. The over/under is 48.5. I'm predicting Buffalo to win 24-17. So I'm predicting Buffalo to cover the spread, giving the 5.5, even though it's not a home game because it's in London. And the over/under being 48.5. I'm predicting the under, but Buffalo can go off. But that's just what I'm going with. So deal with it. The next game are two very Houston's playing pretty good, and they're playing in Atlanta. Both teams are 2-2. Houston, my guy C.J. Stroud from the Ohio State University, has been playing great the last couple of weeks, and Atlanta's a pretty average team. Desmond Ritter's I don't even know if average is what I would call him, but they have won 2 games. So Houston's been averaging 24 points a game and giving up 20. Atlanta's been playing better defense. Not by much, but they're scoring 15 points a game and giving up 19. Now, being that this is Atlanta, Atlanta is giving 2 points. The over/under is 41.5. And I got these from DraftKings, so they were pretty up to date on Saturday. They could change by Sunday. So I'm predicting Houston to win 20-17. I think Houston's going to win straight up. So take Houston in the points. I think that's a pretty good bet, anyways. And then I'm going with the under. I don't think either team's got great offense. Atlanta's got pretty decent defense, so I'm just predicting a low-scoring game there. The next game is Baltimore against Pittsburgh, and it doesn't matter what the record of these two teams are. They beat the crap out of each other for 60 minutes. It's just always that way. Both teams have some really good defensive players. Baltimore's 3-1, the Steelers 2-2, and the two losses were just not very pretty. It's funny. Baltimore is scoring 25 points a game and giving up 15, and the Steelers are just the opposite, scoring 15 and giving up 25. Baltimore is giving 4.5. Like I said, these two teams go at it really hard. I'm projecting Baltimore winning 24-20, which would mean that take Pittsburgh and take the 4.5. The over/under being 38. I'm going to go with over on this game. So we'll see what happens, but it should be at least should be a really hard-hitting, tough game. The next game are two okay teams. There's a lot of average and below-average teams this year, I think. It's the New Orleans Saints. We're 2-2 up against the New England Patriots, 1-3. Both teams average 15 points a game scoring. The Saints average giving up 19, while the Patriots average giving up 24. The Patriots are giving a point, and it really depends on if Carr plays, but I think he's going to. I like New Orleans winning the game straight up 17-14, so I would take New Orleans in the 1. The over/under being 39. I believe this is going to be under. I think it's going to be pretty well under. But, I won't watch any of the game, but, I'm sure I'll see some highlights. The next game should be a bloodbath, and I'm hoping so because the Bears have Carolina's first pick, and I'm hoping they, are the worst team in football so that we can take Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, baby. We do not need a quarterback. Justin Fields is just fine. But just in case. Anyways, the Carolina Panthers are 0-4. The Lions are 3-1. The Panthers averaging 17 points a game scoring and giving up 25. The Lions scoring 26 and giving up 21. It's a big number. It's in Detroit. Detroit's given 9.5. Over/under is at 44. I'm predicting Detroit to win 28-17, which would mean that I think the Lions are still going to cover, even though Amon-Ra St. Brown may not play. He's probably not going to play. He's doubtful. So you have to keep an eye on that. They got some other guys that are, iffy. The running back and the wide receiver. So Giles is questionable with a late injury. So, you'll just have to play that one by ear and see what happens. But I'm still projecting Detroit to win 28-17, which would mean that Detroit giving the points and the over/under being 44. I think they're just gonna go over. So I think Detroit could score some big points. I mean, I don't really care who's playing wide receiver for them. They got a pretty good team. They got Sam Laporta as a tight end. He's been pretty solid. So we'll see what happens there. The next one, it's the average division. All four teams in the AFC, I believe, is the South. I'm not great with East, West, South, North. They're all 2-2. The Titans are averaging 18 points a game and giving up 18 points a game. The Colts are averaging 24 points and giving up 25 points a game. So it's real average. It's even Steven. It's like the Seinfeld episode where he throws a 20 out the window and finds the 20 somewhere else. It's going to be a tight game. The big news is Jonathan Taylor signed his contract, 3 years, $42 million. I think said he was the third highest paid running back. He deserves it. He deserves more. He's a great running back. I would start him immediately. I've got a couple of areas where I can't start him. I've got him on like 5 teams. But anyways, Tennessee's giving 2.5 somehow. And maybe that'll change with Taylor playing. And the over/under is 43.5. It's in Indianapolis. The big guys in Vegas must think that Tennessee's going to win this game, pretty handily. But I don't see it. I've got Indy winning 21-20. That means I'm taking Indy in the points. With the over/under being 43.5, I would play the under. And I think the under is going to be a pretty decent call there. Your next game are 2 1-3 teams. The surprising 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals and the surprising 1-3 Arizona Cardinals. I did not think the Cardinals would beat the Cowboys, but that happened. Amazing. The Bengals are only scoring 12 points a game, and their offensive line is trash. They've had couple of years to fix that offensive line for my guy Joe Burrow, who started out at Ohio State. But there was, too many good quarterbacks there, and he had to go to a school like LSU in order to play. That's how things go. It worked out great for him. He's number one choice in the whole draft. I'm hoping the Bengals play better, just because they're a much better team than that. And Arizona, even with Dobbs as quarterback, I think they've overachieved a little bit. The line is Cincinnati giving 3. The over-under is 44. I've got Cincinnati winning the game 24-21, which would be a push. But if I was going to bet given points, I would take Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati, like I said, they're going to win by 3, but there's a pretty decent chance they could win by more. Maybe Arizona wins. Who the hell knows? And with my score, I just hit the over by 0.5 point, so I'm going to take the over. Next game is the Philadelphia Eagles, the 4-0 Eagles against the LA Rams. Pretty decent game. The Rams have 2 losses, but they're still a pretty good team. Philly has scraped by the last couple of weeks. Both teams are averaging 29 points a game. The Eagles are averaging giving up 22, the Rams 21, so they're pretty evenly matched. The line is Philly giving 4, and the over-under is 50.5. I've got Philly squeaking out another one, 27-24, which would mean that take the Rams. I'm taking the Rams in the points, and I'm going with the over by another 0.5 point. So that's another one where, boy, you could have Mahomes sliding and costing you a cover. So stuff like that happens. That's why they call it gambling, and that's why I don't do it. Because, well, I've never had much success at it. Your next game is the 3-1 Kansas City Chiefs against the 1-3 Vikings. Now, the Vikings are 1-3, and last year they played with a horseshoe up their ass. They won games they had no business winning, but they always find a way to keep things close. So I don't think that this is going to be a big score for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to win. The Chiefs are averaging 25 points and giving up 15. The Vikings right about even, scoring 23 and giving up 24. The line is Kansas City giving 3.5. The over-under is 53. I'm predicting Kansas City winning 27-24. So I am taking Minnesota and the points, just barely covering. And with the over-under being 53, I'm going to go with the under. Minnesota just finds a way to keep things close, and I think that's going to happen. So the over one is the under choice is a little iffy, but that's what I'm going with. Probably the worst all-around game of the week, the New York Jets against the Denver Broncos. Both teams are 1-3, and the Broncos shouldn't be 1-3. If the Bears had any good coaches, the Broncos would be 0-4, but they have a good coach, and Russell played okay. So the Jets are scoring 15 points a game and giving up 21. The Broncos scoring 25 points a game, but giving up 37 points a game, which is by far the league. Well, not by far. Yeah, it's the league high by far. It's by a touchdown over the Washington. Actually, by 3 points over my Chicago Bears. So the line is Denver giving 2.5. The over-under is 43.5. I'm taking the Jets outright, 31-28, which means that I'm taking Jets in the 2.5. I'm also going to go with the over, 43.5. Broncos give up so many points, and their defense is such crap. I mean, the Bears went right through them, like a knife through butter. And while the Jets' defense is pretty good, Denver's offense is pretty decent. This kid McLaughlin, I don't know if Javante's going to play or not, but this kid McLaughlin looks really good. They should give him some more touches. That kid is really fast and he's shifty, but hopefully I don't have to watch that game. The Sunday night game, it's a good one. Dallas Cowboys against the San Francisco 49ers. The Cowboys are 3-1, the Niners 4-0. Cowboys averaging 31 points a game score and giving up 10. While the 49ers also average 31 a game and only give up 15. So, both teams scoring a lot, giving up very few. The line is San Francisco by 3.5. The over-under is 45. boy, that should be a fun game to watch. I hope both teams bring their offenses. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be an exciting game to watch. Probably the best all-around game of the week, and probably the best all-around game for a while. I'm predicting San Francisco to win 24-21, which would mean that Dallas, with the 3.5, would cover. That half point's a big point. And then I know it's a push, so if I had to bet on an over-under, there could be a lot more points scored. I'm going to bet the over on that game. And the Monday night game, it's not great. Jimmy G is back for the Raiders at least, and not the kid from Stevenson High School, where my kids went to school. Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. The Packers are 2-2. The Raiders 1-3. Packers averaging scoring 25 points a game and giving up 24, while the Raiders scored 15 and give up 25. The line is Vegas giving 2.5 points, and I think Green Bay is going to win it outright, 24-20. So I'm going to take Green Bay in the points, and then just under by a point. A lot of it depends on, for the Packers, if Aaron Jones and Watson, if they play. They're both questionable. I think they're both going to play. I guess I understand that at practice, Jones was running pretty good at full speed without any pain. So, I hope that's the case, because I have him on a lot of my fantasy teams, and if he doesn't play, there's a couple of injured reserve spots that you could put him on, but then you got to try to pick somebody up, and you got a choice of A.J. Dillon's not going to be available. Most teams have him, so you got to pick up some backup guy from somewhere. So it's a real tough deal. I'm hoping he plays. We'll see what happens. Should be. It's always an interesting weekend. It's always fun. It's football. We only get 18 of these weekends before the playoffs. I love it. It's nice that my Bears are done and I can just sit back and relax and just watch football and not scream at the television that my coach is doing this and my coach isn't doing that. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope I'm able to maybe help you. If I do have some knowledge about football. I'm just not so great with the gambling. If I helped you out a little bit, that's great. If I have a week like last week, then awesome. I got the two Bobby Boucher jerseys there in the background. I play a touch football league where you have to bring it's not even a league. It's we just pick teams on Sundays, where you have to bring a light and a dark jersey. So I've got the Bouchers. I've also got my Jim Zorn jersey because I'm a lefty, and he was a lefty quarterback back in the day. When my son plays, he's got from the replacements, he's got a Falco. He's got a white Falco jersey, so he wears that, and he wears the orange Boucher when he's in town. So anyways, if you like this, please subscribe. I'd love to say go Bears, but I don't have to. They already won their game somehow. Woohoo! I'm very excited. Ding, ding, ding. My Buckeyes won, so this is a good week. Blackhawks play tonight. Connor Bedard finally got his first goal. Anyhow, if you like my videos, please, please, please subscribe. And I know I'll have an injury update report coming up in a bit. So, be safe out there. It's Saturday night. If you're drinking and you're out, get a ride. Have somebody drive for you. It's just not worth it, guys. It's just not worth it. Take a cab, take a Uber. They've got these crazy things called Uber and Lyft. Leave your car there. Call the cops, tell them your car's there overnight. Go get it the next day. It's just not worth it, okay? So be safe out there. Have fun. It's Saturday night. Have a great time. I'm hoping there's some good college football games on tonight. We'll see what happens. And we'll see you next time.